Hello, everyone. This is the Inner Voice Show, part of the Evolving Mind series in the Togetherness media. I'm Dr. Foojan, psychotherapist, a researcher, and international speaker, and the founder of the Awareness Integration Theory. This is a show about what matters most in our life: our minds, thoughts, feelings, actions, relationships, and our fulfillment in this beautiful journey of life. Today, I will share the tip of the week about how parenting your teen toward a balanced life works. I promise it does. Then I chat with Heather Hutchison. She is the author of Holding On by Letting Go, a memoir, and an award-winning singer and songwriter with 3 albums released to date. She has been blind since birth and having struggled with mental illness from a young age. She's passionate about educating people on disability and mental health through her music and writing. You will hear her wonderful song, My Truth, and we will share who she has been and what she's going to offer you. Then I will share with you how to handle your plans while you have an emergency in the Ask Me segment. Here's the tip of the week. Parenthood is full of responsibility and filled with anxiety. It's been tough for many parents to handle their teens and young adults' emotional maneuvering. It's also tough for teens to handle their parents' controlling or manipulative or emotional outbursts. This age, the teenage, the dynamic can be very difficult time for both parents and the teens and the young adults who are still dependent on their parents. This week, I've talked to parents who have been frustrated with their teen not completing their chores, asking for help and yet not taking it, following through with what they're supposed to do, spending too much money, fighting with their siblings, not studying, smoking pot, drinking alcohol, and most of all, talk back in a disrespectful manner. I also talk to teens and young adults who have been frustrated with their parents, manipulating them, scolding them, controlling them, repeating themselves, reprimanding them for something that the parent do themselves, and talking down to them, and most of all, destroying their self-esteem with the way they talk down and the words they use. Many parents are still parenting their teens or young adults similar to when they were young children. While it's important for the parenting style to change to be age appropriate, teens begin to act independently while in reality, they're not. And this means that they are ready to learn the skills of independence. They need a guide to teach them communication skills, financial management skills, relational skills, time management skills, and much, much, much more. Parents at times get confused by their teens acting and demanding to be treated like an adult, yet in many areas of life, they don't have those skills to be fully responsible. Therefore, there are lots of opportunities for misunderstanding. Communication that is respectful, compassionate, clear, and firm is very helpful and a good role model for teens to follow when they are talking to their parents. When a parent requests for the teen to do something and is not accepted by the teen, a full explanation of the wisdom or the logic behind it should be communicated so that the teen can understand and learn the decision-making process behind the request. Many parents concentrate on their teen just studying, while they may not create a structure for the teen also to take responsibility in the division of labor around the home, or the structure for the allowance and the accountability of spending their money, or structure balancing and managing time between school, work, hygiene, play, chores, and socialization. As each of these structures is created, your teen will be able to learn and succeed in one area of life and gets to learn how to balance their overall life. This type of training at home will support them to continue the same balance in college and in life. Teens and young adults go through lots of anxiety about forming their identity, peer pressure, wanting to be free while wanting to still be taken care of, being pleasure, having pleasure, having thrill, and comfort-oriented personalities. This stage becomes a juggling act between the short-term pleasure-seeking mentality and learning to be responsible and accountable. Parents go through a stage where they prefer to allow the teen or the young adult to have more responsibility while they're afraid of the short-term pleasure-seeking behaviors of their teen. It's hard for them to know where to let the rein kind of loose and where to pull it tight, since every time they pull, they get a harsh reaction from their teen. This balancing act is an art, and it takes skills. So for more observational and communication skills in the area of parenting, go to my book, Life Reset, the Awareness Integration Path to Create the Life You Want. Thank you.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com.
How do you handle when everything's planned during your day and then an emergency happens which disrupts everything? What do we do? Well, really get intentional. So what do I mean by that? Obviously, if the plan for the day is completely set, you probably have a lot of other people you have to take care of or be in communication because they will be waiting and you probably gave commitments. So they're waiting for the plan to go forward and they don't know all that's happening with you. So first, if it's an emergency, it's handle the emergency as the best possible way that you can. In between, if you can contact every person who will be affected by you not showing up or you not being there, and let them know what's going on and how to change it. Yesterday, when this happened for me, it was interesting that it was intentional that everything was going to go forward while I was handling the emergency on the side. And interestingly enough, even when other people were panicking around that, oh, there's an emergency, we have to handle it, it was more being intentional that we're going to together do everything we had planned, and together we're going to create and handle the emergencies that were there. This type of communication helps people to gather up. All the resources are there, people come in and help. And as you can be intentional in continuing and not get disrupted by what's happening, you have the ability to maneuver both with the help of everyone and moving forward. Now, if it's an emergency that just halts all the plan, then you handle the emergency and you communicate fully with everyone that got disrupted in when you will come back and create those plans that you had with them. When you become intentional, you become focused. And with that intentionality, you can keep yourself calm and strategize to the best of your capacity in how to handle the emergency that's happening, plus everything else that was going to happen that day. Most people get very frazzled at that time. And because of the frazzleness and seeing, I can only do one of them and what's going to happen to the rest, in that anxiety, we forget, we start blaming others, or we're going to poor me, or all of those other types of thought processes, which are not useful at that time. So one thing that you could check is every single process of the thought. How is that useful? And that becomes intentional. You only want to entertain the thoughts and the emotions and the behaviors that at that moment are going to handle the emergency and going to handle the plan that you already have. So with that, become intentional, and you'll see that you could pull through everything that happens without necessarily getting overwhelmed. Thank you.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com.